the connection, I think it's better.
How are you?
I'm fine, and you?
I'm great.
Cool. Okay, so the idea of this meeting today is that I
Mhm.
can watch your pitch, your 3-minute pitch, and then we'll go through the presentation. I will record to make it available in my social media for you to have your company being uh, started being recognized here in Brazil and hopefully
Mhm.
soon in the other parts of the world. So feel free to start.
Sure. So I should pitch for 3 minutes.
Do you have a pitch deck?
Sure. Yes.
Okay, so the idea
Should
is
I send it to you or just share my screen?
share your screen and then you have your 3 minutes, and after that I will interrupt you and make comments.
Sure. Just a second, please.
Sure.
So I can open it. I guess my internet is not doing really well today.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah. Okay. Pitch deck. Okay. Share screen. Share screen. Okay.
Good. I can see. Flare.
Yeah. Is it all right?
Yes, I can see you and we can start now.
Hello, my name is Andre, and today I would like to present you a product, Flare. So I would like to start with the story. I'm actually a family guy, and what I really like is to go shopping with my family. There's every time a problem. Every time I go shopping with my sister, we get lost pretty easily. So I've been thinking how to make it more easier so we do not lose her every time. And yeah, of course, I was worried how to do that and what to do, and I decided to come up with Flare. Meanwhile, I was actually looking forward to what's actually going on, and I found out that the pedestrian safety is really a big issue, as every day 500 children are killed and tens of thousands are injured in traffic. Also in Europe, it's a really bad situation as every 2 minutes a child goes missing. The solution is pretty simple, a flare device. So it's a reflector and provides current location of your children. Key features are pretty standard. So first of all, it's 2 times brighter than a normal reflector. As we're using new technologies, no screen, it means that no distraction for your child. You have a pick me up button and SOS button. It means if something really goes wrong, your child just clicks a button and you can come to help him out. Also, the battery life is pretty impressive as it's 1 week. Technical details, the device is pretty small. It means that it will fit on lots of shelves and doesn't take a lot of space in our basement. That actually makes the shipping costs and basically the merchandising for some shops pretty easy. So they don't need to spend that much money for that. It's really easy to set up in just 4 steps. You can set it up our app, and the first one is actually downloading it. So basically 3 steps and you're ready to go. You just download the app, select the safe zones like home or school, so you get notified every time your child comes into the area. And then the application will provide you a current location. And then it's basically peace of mind for me as having a little sister and peace of mind for each parent. So they every time know where their child is and they know that they are safe. Our story so far, well, we've been working for only 6 months and we've been invited to the European Commission to basically present our product. We're backed by the by the biggest Slovenian accelerator, and we have a partnership with the biggest bank in Slovenia, NLB. Also, we have a tested market, fully working prototype MVP, and a few days ago we got awarded as of 15 IoT products in Europe. Offer our team is just 6 people, but it's a good number. Our children and 63 would consider a device like Flare. That basically means that we have a potential to grow. We do have competitors, but our focus is totally different as we're basically traffic safety and safety device, and also we have an emergency services integration. Business strategy is pretty simple. After that, basically, it's up for our investor or. And where do we need an investment? We need our investment to do the first batch, basically to do the injection molding, get the first parts, and do some marketing as well. And as we'll get investment, we'll finalize our injection molds, we'll start our marketing campaign, start selling the. Thank you for your attention. If you have any questions.
Good. The end of the presentation was kind of cracked, so I couldn't understand because of the internet connection. But I really like the story that you build up here, because at the beginning you started with a clear and simple statement of what's flare, and it was very well understandable. It was right away clear what you are doing, and then you started with a story which is very very good in order to make a very good impression. So I really like that because it brings life to your presentation. It brings reality. It makes it real. It shows that people are facing a problem and then you have a solution. So it was very very good. I really like the flow of the first part. Talking about the product characteristics, I think that you wouldn't need to go into the details that you mentioned. I think it was too much for a 3-minute pitch, and I'm saying that because you spend 2 more minutes instead of 3. You spend around 5 roughly. So
Uh-huh.
the details of the product, you go into detail too much. When you have
Mm-hmm.
a pitch with a better time, or a time that you can talk for 5, 7, or 10 minutes, I think this presentation would be perfect. And then
Mm-hmm.
when you mention the market size twice, so I don't think you need to do that. You just mention it once. It will be okay.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see where you are on the financial side. So I see that you have the MVP ready and fully tested, but I'm not
Mm-hmm.
sure where your company is. In which stage you are. Already you have already clients. You don't have clients yet, so it's not clear.
Mm-hmm.
And the amount of money that you need, you didn't mention here. And because you are talking to
Uh-huh.
a possible investor, you should make it clear right away. And the good thing is that you represent by a pie chart, what you're gonna do
Mm-hmm.
with the money, but you don't mention how much it is. So it's important to mention, because I don't know how much money do you need. And uh, and the last slide here, where we are right now, I would change the picture. I would substitute this picture that we are connected with one picture that is more emotional, to make the investors want to create that connection. This image is very good to show what you want, but it's not very good to call the attention of the investor and make him invest. So I would change that.
Mm-hmm.
But in general, I like your presentation. I think there are lots of components that are important in a pitch. Some are missing, so we would need more clarification on that. And I think that it's time to talk about them. So, in general, what I like to do is, first, I provide you feedback on your pitch and on your presentation. And once it's done,
Sure.
we can discuss in more details about your business. So, does it make sense what I just said?
Mm-hmm. Sorry,
Does it
could you
make
repeat, please?
sense? Does it make sense what I just said?
Yes, it does.
Great. So let's go back to the beginning of your presentation, and I have some questions related to your business.
Sure.
The first slide, you mentioned that it's a Series A deck. Have you already
Mm-hmm.
received investment?
Not yet.
Okay, so I wouldn't call it a Series A,
Mm-hmm.
because if you are trying to get investment for the first time, it
Sure.
seems to be a seed investment that you're looking for.
Huh.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's not a Series A. And it was very
Mm-hmm.
important, because when I first see that, I immediately immediately I realized that you have already investors, and you are a very big, not very big company, but you're a more structured company that has traction on the market. You are not in the beginning of the operation, so I would expect to see this presentation or this business in a more structured and robust way. So you need to take
Uh-huh.
care with this.
Sure. Thank you. Next slide.
Next slide. I can't see the slide yet.
I'm actually showing it. Maybe something wrong with the internet again.
Okay. So meet the Collins. I like this. It was very good because you have a picture here with a family. It all connected to your product. It brings some sentimental aspect to your presentation. I would include one more picture. I would include a picture with a happy family, and then with a family in danger, or a mother crying for the loss of their children, and then you tell a story just with pictures, but presenting the same idea.
Sure. Next.
Next. This is good.
Okay.
In this slide, I would I really like the information that you bring here, and you point out the most important numbers, and it was very good. However, I think the connection between the first two slides could be improved, because if you think on the first slide that you talk about the family, and then you talk about the smartphones, and then you talk about the traffic accidents, they don't tell a story in a with a flow, with a very good flow. I think those three slides are very important and are good to be mentioned, but the flow and the sequence is, I think you could rethink. This slide specifically is very good, and it has to be presented. And I think this slide could be one of the information that you bring about the total market, because one of the functionalities of your product is to make the accidents diminished or reduced significantly. So it could be already your market size slide, but you need to use the characteristics that you used in the slides at the end and bring it to the beginning, and then you tell the story, I think, in a better flow. But I think it's very good, the
Thank you.
information that we have here, and a very good thing that you presented is the source of the information, which is very significant. You need to include it, and it's very good. So the next one,
Uh,
you talk about the solution, which is
mhm.
very good. I like it a lot. Go to the next one. You talk about the key features, and this picture is very good because give the dimension of the product in a child. So it was good.
Mhm.
You can go to the next one. I think this slide is too much for a 3-minute pitch.
Mhm.
You can keep for longer presentations, but this is too much for a 3-minute pitch. So you spend a little bit time here, and it makes you go more than 3 minutes afterwards. But the
Mhm.
next slide is very good. You can go to the next.
This one?
Not seen yet. Yes, this one. It's very clear. It's very simple. You don't use too much words on it, and it's perfectly understandable. So this slide is
Mhm.
very good. I really like this slide.
Thank you. Next one?
Next one. Here you are talking about the benefits of your product, right?
Yes.
I don't think you need to use this slide for a 3-minute presentation because it's clear. It should be clear at the beginning when you talk about your target market and the
Mhm.
personas that might use your product, that they have a problem and your product is a solution. And to wrap up, what you could do is to provide this information when you talk about the or the benefits when you are addressing
Mhm.
the consumer problems or when you are talking about the product.
Sure. Mhm.
Okay, going to the next
Next
one.
one?
Our story so far. I think this is good.
Okay. Next one?
Next one. Okay. Before that, this story of your company. So going back one slide, it's good that you provide a little bit feedback or information background about your company. But I can't see clearly where you are. So you should have provided more information on the previous slide. Go to the go to the slide before.
Sure.
Okay, you mentioned here fully working on tested MVP and tested market. What you could do here, when you bring the line on the top of the slide, you could provide us with data. When do you start? When this acceleration started? How many clients do you have? What was your ramp up in terms of number of clients and revenue? Because today, what's the status of your company? You mentioned here that you have a tested market, but how tested? How many people have you approached? Have you already had a sales? What's your revenue right now? So those information should come here, and then as a complementary information, you talk about the European Commission, about the acceleration program, and about the partnership. In these slides, to tell your story, you should talk about the revenue and the stages of your company over the time. So I want to see here dates and information about number of clients and revenue.
Sure.
Next slide, we talk about the team. Okay, so how the transition here is very important too. So when you talk about your journey, what makes you come here right now where you are? Our team. So our team are composed by people that can bring this company to the next level, because we have a team that has this expertise, and we have people that are helping us and stuff like that. So it's important the flow of your presentation in order to make an impact when the investor see your pitch. And then when you talk about your team, the next slide would be
Yeah, noise is a little bit unconnected.
yeah, exactly. You see, the flow of the presentation is not very good. So the market size should be
Yeah,
up there
before.
before, exactly.
Next one.
Next one. And a tip here in the market size when you're providing this information, still, you should include three information. One is the total market size. So what's the total market size?
Sure.
Is the number of children in your target region. So if you are starting with
Okay.
Slovenia, so we have 100,000 children in the country. So we believe that this is the total market size, but we are not gonna reach all of them. So our addressable market would be X% of that, because of that. And then today, we, with our idea, we can reach these amounts of people considering the addressable target. So it will give it will provide the investor with
Okay.
a clarity on what's the total market that they might see revenue on your company, and where you are right now. So the path and the way that you're gonna surf going forward, it's clear for them.
Mm-hmm.
And then you
Okay.
talk about the competition. The competition slide should be right after the product one, because the product you talk about your differentiation and what
Mm-hmm.
competitors are doing differently from you. And here I like to see one comparison table. So you should include a table showing the main characteristics of your product. So what you could
Mm-hmm.
you could have as characteristics. You could have the weight of the product, how the intensity of the light, and the GPS
Sure.
chip or stuff like that.
Okay.
And another important information here is the geographic area that you're gonna start gaining traction
Uh-huh.
of your product. So are you
Sure.
gonna start in Slovenia, in Europe as a whole, and your competitors? For example, if you have a competitor in the United States and they are not in the Slovenia, you have a global competitor but not a local competitor. So you could gain market on your location, and then
Mm-hmm.
when they will start in the market, in the Slovenia market, you will be ahead of them.
Mm-hmm.
So this is important.
Okay. Thank you for your feedback. Next one.
Next one. Business strategy. This slide is very important, and here is where you see, or investors will see, how do you make money, and it should be connected with your numbers. So in the flow of the slides, when you mention that you that your the story of your company so far and the market that you are reaching, this should be connected
Mm-hmm.
with your business strategy. You see that there's no,
Mm-hmm.
the flow is not very well, is not very good yet.
Sure. Next one.
Next one. I can't see the next one yet. Okay, where we need,
Mm-hmm. Probably.
this slide is good. What I would suggest you to do is to make the size of the letters in the chart bigger, because this
Okay.
is the most important
Okay.
information in this slide. You wouldn't even need to include the text that you include in the left side, because the most important
Mm-hmm.
part of your slide is the pie chart and the information of the each one of the parts.
Sure. Next one.
Next one. What's next? This slide is very good. But in a 3-minute pitch, you wouldn't have time to explain in much details about the what's next. So if you want to include what's next in your 3-minute pitch, you should avoid using too much text. Here I see that there are small sentences, which is very good, but because of the time that you have to present a 3-minute pitch, just mentioning each one of the sentence will consume you almost 1 minute. So this slide should be very, very fast and should be very, very visual for a 3-minute pitch. So instead of bringing sentences, I would bring images, make it easier just to see and understand clear what's coming next.
Sure. Next one.
Next one. Okay, and thank you for your attention. I talked already about the image of the slides, and as an additional feedback, I would include here a sentence with a call to action. What do you expect from your audience here? Why you are presenting? What do you want from them? So in this slide, you don't need to write the sentence down, but you need to mention this sentence asking for what you are looking for. So if you just end with thank you, you miss the opportunity to make the investors be more aware of what you are asking for and make them have the clear view of what you are wanting from them. If it's only money, it's okay, but if it's money and connections and recommendations, make it clear that you want their help. Because when you are in this stage, which is looking for seed investment, you also should look for smart money. So people that should be able to help you build the company, and ask them for that.
Sure.
But in general,
and yeah, this is best.
You are in the right way. So you have still some points to adjust in order to be eligible for being considered by investors to invest in your company. And one additional tip that I would provide you with is make clear your differentiation, because your product is not unique in the world. People have already invented products like yours, but you should differentiate from others somehow. And when you bring the differentiation, it will be easier to defend your company when you are comparing to other competitors.
Sure.
Andre, I hope I could help you in your...
Yeah, it was really helpful. Also, yeah, I will now update my pitch deck, and I'm really glad to hear your feedback.
Great. Do you think it's valuable for you?
Definitely, more
Do
than
you,
valuable.
great. Do you think it will help you get the investment you need?
Well, better pitch deck means better attention. Better attention means um, investment in this case.
Exactly. Okay, Andre. So we are running out of time here, but uh,
Sure.
it was very good to meet you, and I wish you good luck. Good luck on your journey.
Could you repeat, please?
I wish you good luck on your journey.
Thank you.
If you have any additional comments afterwards, you can connect on LinkedIn. Uh,
Sure.
and I hope you grow your company.
Thank you.
Nice to
Have a
talk to
nice
you.
day, and
You too.
yeah,
Bye bye.
goodbye.